When President George W. Bush was stocking the federal courts with conservative ideologues, Senate Republicans threatened to change the august body's rules if any Democrat dared to try to block his choices, even the least competent, most radical ones. Filibustering the president's nominees, they said, would be an outrageous abuse of senatorial privilege. Now that President Obama is preparing to fill vacancies on federal benches, Republican senators have fired off an intemperate letter threatening, you got it, filibusters if Mr. Obama's nominees are not to their liking. Mr. Obama should not let the Republicans' saber rattling interfere with how he chooses judges. Despite Republicans' loud complaints, the Senate actually confirmed the vast majority of Mr. Bush's choices. As a result, some unqualified and undeserving people are federal judges with lifetime tenure, like Jay Bybee, who signed at least 2 appalling legal opinions on detainees when he was head of the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel, including one arguing that the president had the power to authorize torture. The nation is now saddled with hard right Republican judges who are using the courts to push an agenda of hostility to civil rights and civil liberties, reflexive deference to corporations, and shutting the courthouse door to worthy legal claims. Mr. Obama has to repair the damage, which will require technically able judges who can provide a counterbalance to the ideologues who control many appeals courts. Senate Republicans are not waiting to evaluate Mr. Obama's nominations on their merits, choosing instead to deliver their written warning. Their request that Mr. Obama consult with them about possible nominees is appropriate, and the administration should do so. Senators have a right to advise as well as to decide whether to consent on judicial nominations. The senators, however, went further. They insisted that Mr. Obama begin by appointing holdover Bush nominees who were never confirmed by the Senate. There is no need to do so, and Mr. Obama should not. The Republican senators are also demanding veto rights over nominees from their states. This demand is aimed not only at Mr. Obama, but also at Senator Patrick Leahy, the Judiciary Committee chairman. Mr. Leahy must decide whether to follow the senator's blue slip tradition. Blue slips have no constitutional basis, are undemocratic, and are subject to abuse. The Republicans abandoned them when they controlled the Senate under Mr. Bush. Blue slips should be allowed to die a quiet death. It is particularly strange to see Senate Republicans raising the specter of filibustering nominees. When Mr. Bush was doing the nominating, Senator Orrin Hatch, Republican of Utah and a former Judiciary Committee chairman, warned Democrats that filibusters mired the judicial confirmation process in a political and constitutional crisis that undermines democracy, the judiciary, the Senate, and the Constitution. A filibuster can be an appropriate response when it is clear that a particular nominee would be a dangerous addition to the bench. The Republicans rushed to threaten filibustering in the absence of actual nominees is not only at odds with their previous views on the subject, but shows a lack of respect for the confirmation process. The Republicans are trying to intimidate, to hold onto the bench, and that branch of government where they still hold sway, and Mr. Obama may be tempted to give in to win Republicans' cooperation for other parts of the legislative agenda. They should resist that temptation and get to work right away, appointing the kind of highly qualified, progressive-minded judgeships the nation needs. It is a matter of an article which implies that the more than 200 Harvard Medical School students and sympathetic faculty intent on exposing and curtailing the industry influence in their classroom and laboratories are in complete agreement. That is not so. As future physicians, we feel that disclosure of financial conflicts of interest is essential to protecting our patients, and that accurate information is axiomatic to any medical curriculum. Because